Hi, so it's me again, Mr. Hendra. So today's video is about defining relative clauses. So what are defining relative clauses? Let's find out. So what is a defining relative clause? Relative clauses give us information about the person or thing mentioned, while defining relative clauses give us essential information, important information, which is information that tells us who or what we are talking about. Let's take a look at the examples. The woman who lives next door works in a bank. So the clause who lives next door is what we call as a defining relative clause. Why do we need to put the defining relative clause there? Remember, the function is to give us essential information. So if I only say the woman works in a bank, is it clear? Can you tell me which woman? Is it that woman, woman A, Mrs. B? No, we don't know. That's why we need a defining relative clause to make it clear. So when I say the woman who lives next door works in a bank, now it is clearer. We know exactly which woman we are talking about. The woman who lives next door. Not that woman, not Mrs. A, not Mrs. B. Okay, let's continue to the next example. These are the flights that have been cancelled. So when we put a defining relative clause that have been cancelled, so it is clearer now which flights we are talking about. So these are the flights that have been cancelled, not those flights, not flight 507 and 207. No, these are the flights that have been cancelled. Only these flights. Okay. Defining relative clauses use relative pronouns. The words who and that are what we call as relative pronouns. Let's find out more about relative pronouns, shall we? The first relative pronoun is who and that. We can use who or that to talk about people. That is more common and more informal. Okay, but when we want to make it formal, we use who. Okay, just like the previous example, the woman who lives next door works in a bank. We use who because from the previous example, it is the woman. It is a person. Okay, he's the man that I met at the conference. Remember, because it is the man, so we use that. And let's take a look at the first example too. She's the woman who cuts my hair. Why do we use who? Because it is the woman. So who cuts my hair explains or tells us which woman. Okay. He's the man that I met at the conference. That I met at the conference explains us which man. Okay. And remember, we use who or that because they are, the woman and the man are people. Let's continue to the next relative pronoun, which or that. We can use which or that to talk about things. That is more common and a bit more informal. Let's take a look at the examples. There was a 1-year guarantee which came with the TV. Why do we use which? Remember, a defining relative clause explains who or what. In this sentence, which came with the TV, explains the guarantee. Okay, the guarantee. And it is a thing, not a person. Okay, let's take a look at the second sentence. The laptop that I bought last week has started making a strange noise. We use that because it is the laptop, a thing. Can we change that here with which? Sure, we can. But can we change that here with who? No, we cannot. Because the laptop is a thing, not a person. Okay? Remember, who is for person, which is for thing. Okay? How do you decide which relative pronouns we are going to use? Let's take a look at the noun here. It is a thing, not person, so we use which. If it is a person, so you use who. Okay, let's take a look at the other relative pronouns. We use when to refer to a time. So we are talking about the time. Examples, summer is the season when I'm happiest. We use when because we are talking about the season. It is a period of time. Yesterday was the day when I won the competition. We use when because we are talking about the day, which is time. Can we change when with who or which? No. Remember, who is for a person, which is for a thing, and when is for a time. Okay, three relative pronouns. Let's continue to the next one. Where can refer to a place. So when we are talking about the place, we use where. That's the stadium where Real Madrid play. We use where because the stadium shows the place. Purwokerto is the city where I was born. I'm going to explain the city as a place, so that's why I use where. Can we use who? No, it is not a person. Can we use which? No, it is not a thing. Remember, we are talking about the thing as a place. Can we use when? No, because it is not about the time. That's why we use where, the place. The last one, we use whose to refer to the person that something belongs to show possession. Whose here is used to substitute his, her, their. Okay, remember to show possession. He's a musician whose albums have sold millions. Who's here to show a possession? He's a musician. Full stop. His albums have sold millions. His is showing possession. That's why when we combine those two sentences, he's a musician and his albums have sold millions. Now they become he's a musician whose albums have sold millions. Okay. The next example, I remember the man whose son is a famous dentist. I remember the man, full stop. His son is a famous dentist. When we want to combine those two sentences into one using a defining relative clause and with the relative pronouns, now they become I remember the man whose son is a famous dentist. So we have learned five relative pronouns. Who for a person, remember. Which for things, when referring to time. Where referring to a place, and whose to show possession. And remember, when we want to decide which relative pronouns we want to use, take a look at the noun before the relative pronouns. Is it a person? Is it a thing? Is it a place? Is it a time? Or it wants to show possession? The man, son, okay, whose son? Well, that brings me to the end of the video. I hope you find this video helpful for you. Please write down your comments there and let me know whether you need something like this, you need more videos about English. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.